Elevate your leadership journey to new heights.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us on this virtual dais. So we thank each and every one of you who has joined us from different time zones as per your time zone or the country that you are representing here on this virtual platform. And I think it's a good start for this session being conducted from UAE, as Learn by Chapter has spread its wings to Dubai, and so we are conducting the session from Dubai. That's UAE. So I'm Srividhya Sukumar, who has joined Learn by Chapter as a country head, and today we have gathered here to talk about multiple intelligences, as we think that this is a way to rethink education or how we learn, basically. And the insight question has been already put in the flyer. That's everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its own life believing that it is incapable. One size doesn't fit all. So this is what is a challenging statement, the problem statement that we are going to address today. So once again, I thank you wholeheartedly on behalf of Learn by Chapter and allowing me to conduct this session amidst you all with your presence, with your valuable presence. And as we go into the session, we know that what's the main rationale behind this is that how to accommodate ourselves to the time of change, how to become more proactive in handling those challenging situations, and how to make ourselves sustainable. This is what we are here for. So as we know, with the advent of COVID, there have been changes occurring in almost every single sector, that be it business, people mindset, or working environments. So every single facet of life has gradually moved to cyberspace. Whether we like it or not, it has happened. And we are accommodating ourselves to the modern trends or the requirements. Why do we do that? As we know, we are in the process of becoming sustainable. So on that note, even the education sector has not been spared. Schools and colleges and other education models had resisted themselves in the beginning, but still have come a long way through the online instruction, which has evolved into hybrid mode of education. Thus, far and beyond have embraced this online education model, which is the main mode of education these days. Of course, many thanks to the information technology, the sector, which is in the lead, complementing to the fact that time is for change, time to become more proactive, and time to become more sustainable. So this is what here we are to discuss for. And so as we go on to the session, we are going to talk about multiple intelligences. I'm sure as educators, from the education background, many of you, almost every one of you will know about what is multiple intelligences and how are we going to adapt them into the curriculum. That's what is going to be the main talk or the highlight for today. So we are here with multiple intelligences. Now talking about multiple intelligences. Okay, so what do you think about this picture? This is what we need to reflect on, but not now, as the instructions were given. Whenever you see this dot sign, that means we are going to reflect on it towards the end of the session or anytime due to the course of the session. So what does this picture tell you? Or what is the idea that you get from this picture? That is, for this section, it's an examination. Everybody has to take the same examination of climbing a tree. And we have different animals over here. We have an elephant, we have a dolphin, we have a monkey, we have another bird, and we have a fish too, and we have a stork. And the examination is the same thing, same exam for all the animals, that everyone has to climb a tree to pass. So this is what we need to reflect on. And in this regard, we will relate it to today's topic. So we will come back to this picture once again before we end the session. Kindly make a note of it, and all your insights and inferences are quite valuable to us. Please infer upon your insights in the chat box, or whenever the FAQ comes, you can reflect upon this. Thank you so much. Once again, let's have a very quick view of the picture. This is the examination scene which is going on, where the examination says that everyone has to climb this tree to pass the examination. So it's a heterogeneous mix of animals, and everyone has been given the same task. Can we move to the next slide, please? Thank you. So again, it's a short film about relating it to exactly how our society has been slaying out the creativity or the inner self or of the student or the learner or even anyone who is trying to do something different in the name of a conventional way of education or a career. So let's have a look at this movie. So I know as educators, many of you would have been really moved by this film. As you have seen that how the child's creativity has been slayed down, and finally when, yes, thank you Mrs. Sivaramasundari, thanks for that input. Really, we would like to have all your inputs in the chat box so that it keeps us going, and really it will help us to meet our rationale. So related to the previous picture that was shown as judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is incapable. This is what the whole concept is all about when we talk about multiple intelligences. And that's why we say that we are here, we are trying to reimagine, rewiring the education landscape by our attempt of making education a most exciting, joyful, exploring, engaging, experiential for each student or the learner, so that that's such that we are able to make a contribution towards not only to the education world but to the whole nation, such that in the sense, like what I mean is our contribution through the education sector will make our whole nation happy. We can make our society happy, we can make our students happy, we can make our learners happy, we can make our parents happy, such that we will be able to contribute to quite a bit to the happiness index of the whole country. So this is what we are trying to achieve. Well, moving ahead. So as seen in the movie, the traditional education system model has always viewed one's ability to find out that one right answer using that one right approach. So it is believed to be uncommon to encourage students to look beyond their answer and contribute. This was always shadowed down by the traditional authority of the schooling and its system. So in contrast, there is always, we have been emphasizing on personalized student-centered learning guidances with a self-directed learning approach that will impetus to the development of the one's self and the creativity. So these methods inspire and empower the learners to come and with always approaching and solving their own challenges, where the learner takes the responsibility of their own learning more with a focus of self-directed learning, with the responsibility of contributing to the society, with the responsibility of relating what they are learning to their life situation, such that they become most valuable citizens of the society and also to the world. They live and learn together in a collaborative way, such that every student preference is taken as a tool to evaluate and have a more impact on life. So how to bridge this gap? This is what we are going to see. Again, this is a dark question. We will come back to you to reflect on this. So when we do this, exactly, the challenge that we are going to face is one size doesn't fit all. But this is the situation that we are facing today. This is the actual reality that we are facing today. So how to overcome this reality, and how to bridge the gap which has been raised, how to bridge the gap which has been ideally identified by many of us. So In that case, what is the solution for us? Is to adopt personalized student-centered learning with self-directed learning approach. So when we talk about student-centered learning, what is required? Do we have solutions for it? That's what we are going to see in today's session. All our solutions are coming towards the end of the session, so I would request you to stay till the end of the session to really get to your solutions exactly at your doorstep. So, adopt personalized student-centered learning with self-directed learning approach. Now, what is student-centered learning approach? So, where the student takes the responsibility of their own learning, they identify exactly what are the strengths and work. Yeah, that's right. So, they identify what are the strengths and what are the shortcomings, and they work on their shortcomings to bridge the gap between what is known to the unknown. Exactly, that's what we know about KWL charts in our learning system or the learning ecosystem. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay. Can we go? Yes. How to create the personalized learning system and the learning environment.
Chalkboard, a desk, the homework, the books. The day begins and ends when the bells ring. For centuries now, this has defined what all of us think about school. We have come to believe that this is the one way that students will learn. And with that belief, we have taught all of our students in pretty much the exact same way. But the world has changed, and what it means to be ready to succeed in the future has also changed. That means our model of learning must change. It's happening now, and it needs to happen even more. In more places, for all students, especially for those for whom the current system isn't working. Gone are the days when some students can excel and others just get by. Our society needs all kids to excel at high levels. And to make this happen, we need to engage our students like never before. This is student-centered learning.
So, as we have seen in the video, how to engage our students in the student-centered learning, because this is what is going to really is the future of learning system or the learning ecosystem. In all likelihood, we have seen the present trends in the education system that there have been changes which have been happening.
It incorporates
which is undergoing a paradigm shift as school districts or transitioning to your personalized student-centered learning model. So when it is so, can we move on to the next slide? As it sounds, that personalized student-centered learning is more kind of a tailored learning approach, which is being inclusive of finding out students' strength and their needs, their interests, and also the competencies. So are we really finding out these things for our student? That is, know your neighbor. As teachers, as educators in the classroom, the best slogan that we should adopt is know thy neighbor. That is, each one of us should know our students by heart, not only by their name, by their strengths, their needs, their interests, and their competencies, and in which field they are more inclined towards, and in which field such that they will come up in flying colors. As you have seen in the movie before, are we justifying the time which they are spending in the school in a proper way, such that the learning is happening in a more excited way, in a more joyful way, such that the student enjoys the learning experience? So the personalized learning allows the student to explore their creativity and their curiosity, such that they engage in the learning and they explore and they experiment and they express, such that they evolve. Finally, when they relate the learning, what is as per the Bloom's taxonomy, as we know, from the knowledge to the understanding, from the understanding to the application, from the application to the synthesis part of it, are we really mapping up the whole process of learning, where our engaged learners find their own resources which help them in the learning pathway? They not only learn in this process of exploration, but gain relevant experiences trailing different processes. As a result, what happens, they discover themselves and find approaches that work best suitable for them. But does our learning content support this urge to learn more in terms of well-integrated, innovative curriculum with their planning components? do we have a planned lesson or a planned deliverance for this? How to achieve this? Let's come back to it. Again, it's a dark question for you to come with your inputs and inferences, and thereby you will be able to give your solutions. Can we move on to the next slide, Mr. So, how we can reach here? Step 1, first thing, know your students much better to identify their competencies and their interests. 2, there are different styles of learning. So, categorize their learning styles so as to deliver it during our lesson, to address it with its supplements. Means we have to make our lesson plan such that we are able to address these things, address it in our lesson deliverance. So, step 3, modify the teaching and learning methodology to cater to their needs, which is much required. Step 4, when they are learning, when the change is happening, monitor the learning preferences to facilitate the interventions which are required. As we have identified the strengths and weaknesses of the child, we should be able to facilitate it with the interventions, with the recommendation, modifying our lesson plans such that it is suiting to the learning style of each and every learner in the classroom. So when we do that, when we are successful in delivering such a lesson plan, access the learning pathway by giving the maximum benefit to the learner, such that in this process, what we succeed is that we have made the learning experience as the most exciting, with all the curiosity of the learner being valued, and with the interest of engaging themselves, exploring their learning styles, exploring their abilities, such that we have created a platform for them to experience this learning and also relating it, their learning to the life, such that we are able to access the learning pathway, which becomes a maximum benefit not only for the learner but also to the community. Why? Because whatever we take from the community, whatever we learn, we should be able to give it back to the community such that it becomes a very successful learning. So these are the 5 steps which we are suggesting for you, as many of you might be adopting it in your classroom situation. Can we go on to the next slide, please? So next target is that, next task or the challenge is that, how do we identify the learning styles of student? In that case, if you address this diversity in the learning style in the heterogeneous classroom, how do we do that? The teaching, learning and assessment should reflect the diversity of the intelligence and the learning style in the classroom. So, moving ahead, so what is to be done? Change the teaching, learning processes and the content as it contributes to the evolution process. Mr. Rishabh, can we go on to the next slide, please? Change the teaching, learning content and the evolution pattern. So when we adopt the personalized student learning with the tailored learning approach, by integrating multiple intelligence learning models into our lesson planning and the deliverance. So many of you might be knowing about this multiple intelligences, which is otherwise called as 9 smart intelligences, which has been evolved into 8 smart intelligences. So when it is so, one of the most remarkable features of this multiple intelligence is that provides 8 different potential pathways to learning. So if a teacher is having difficulty in reaching a student in more traditional and linguistic or logical way of instruction, the theory of multiple intelligences suggests the teacher in different ways the same material or the content can be addressed, can be presented to satisfy each and every learner, such that to make the deliverance more successful with all the success criteria. And it will also facilitate effective learning practices that can be adopted too. Categorically, it does not confine to the evaluation part of it, but also to the holistic intelligence of the learner, such that it's more inclusive of it when we are talking about multiple intelligences. It does not categorically talk only about the learning system, but also the interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligence of the learner, such that it caters to the different needs of the learner. So the main key is to reach there. How to reach there? The first success is that build your own access model, means assessment model, which will identify the learning style of the learner to support their learning preferences. In the sense, introduce the assessment pattern such that when you begin your lesson, introduce the assessment and you can facilitate the feedback which is given as every part of your delivery content. Means what I mean is, even every lesson plan could have the feedback from each and every student saying that which part of the lesson did you enjoy well, which part of the lesson you didn't understand, and which part of the lesson that we need to go back and work again. So when we have this evaluation rubrics for each and every lesson plan which is structured to satisfy the needs of the learner, which will be successful. And make also during the session you can integrate collaborative learning into the session, such that when you have collaborative learning, there is a process which is involved as peer assessment, and which becomes the most integral part of the learning, such that the students get more compatible, more comfortable working in collaboration with their friends, with their other peers, and engage in an ongoing assessment, such that they will means the high there is a different category of students, the high achievers, the low achievers, the medium achievers. The high achievers will be able to help the low achievers, such that there is a balance which is being realized or being achieved in a classroom situation, with the ongoing assessment and the process of improving knowledge and the skills with the consolidation of updated student data and the monitoring process. So if we adopt this kind of identifying learning style to support the learning preferences, it will really help a great deal. Mr. Rishabh, can you go further? And we move on to the multiple intelligences. Now, how to get on there? Multiple intelligences definitely help a great deal in this process. That is, it's an art of learning in the game of life. So this is what is the tag name which has been given for multiple intelligences. As somebody mentioned, the chat box has been identified by Mr. Howard Gardner, and it was developed in 1983 by Dr. Howard Gardner, the professor of education. And it suggests that traditional notion of intelligence based on IQ testing is far too limited. So to address this problem, Dr. Gardner proposed 8 different intelligences to account for a broader range of human potential in children and adults. So the theory of multiple intelligences proposes major transformation in the way of our learning that can help the child, that can help each and every child in a classroom situation, not only the high achievers. So it not only helps only the learners, but it helps a great deal to the teachers who can be trained to present their lessons in a most wide variety of ways, using music, cooperative learning, art activities, role plays, multimedia, field trips, inner reflection, and much more. Yes. So when we talk about multiple intelligences, there are, as it was mentioned before, it is 8 smart intelligence theory. It is called as verbal, linguistic, and which is otherwise called as word smart. The other one is logical and mathematical way, which is related to the numbers, which is called as reasoning smart or logic smart or the number smart. And the third one is visual and spatial intelligence, which is otherwise called as picture smart, which is who will be most relating every lesson to a picturesque point of view. Fourth one is bodily and kinesthetic intelligence, which is otherwise called as body smart. All our physical activities, where it is dance and PE lessons, all are related to the bodily or kinesthetic smart intelligence. Musical, rhythm, and which is otherwise called as music smart. Interpersonal intelligence is the people smart. Intrapersonal means when somebody is going to talk about working in collaboration, peer learning process, it is called as self smart. And finally, relating it to the naturalistic intelligence, where this is the key thing, when the learning, the whole thing, education is related to life with nature, it is called as nature smarter. So these are the 8 smart intelligences that we are going to look into. So the theory of multiple intelligences is explained over here, where what I have explained verbally will be explained here in this video.
Now, when most of us think about intelligence, we think about intelligence tests or IQ scores or maybe about geniuses throughout history like Albert Einstein. However, intelligence tests like the IQ test often only cover a small fraction of the topics that make up intelligence. As Dr. Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence points out, there is more than one way to measure intelligence. The first type of intelligence is the one we're probably most familiar with, and that's the logical and mathematical intelligence. Logical and mathematical intelligence looks at our ability to work with numbers, understand patterns, and reason critically when confronted with problems. Generally, if you have a high logical or mathematical intelligence, you're likely very precise in your work, you take very organized notes, and probably find yourself doing really well in school, since it's one of the most highly valued types of intelligence in a school's curriculum. Bill Gates and, of course, Albert Einstein are 2 examples of people with high logical and mathematical intelligence. One of the best ways to improve your logical and mathematical intelligence is to use it more often in your everyday life. This is why teachers had us take those arithmetic tests every week in elementary school. Your brain, not unlike your muscles, are strengthened through repetition. When you want to become stronger, you work out, and logical and mathematical skills are no different. They are strengthened with practice. The second type of intelligence is linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence relates to our ability to read, write, and talk to others, and is another highly valued type of intelligence in schools. In fact, one of the primary focuses in the very first few years of school is developing this type of intelligence. And people with a high level of linguistic intelligence are great storytellers, and they tend to be able to pick up new languages as well as their own native languages faster than the average person. J.K. Rowling and Tony Robbins are two examples of people with high linguistic intelligence. A couple of exercises that will help you strengthen your own linguistic intelligence is to keep a journal or make up stories and tell them to people. I've personally found the latter to be a little bit more helpful since I could see what parts of the story were engaging to others just by their reactions, but both will help. The third type of intelligence is visual or spatial intelligence. Visual or spatial intelligence is the ability to create a visual image of a potential project or idea and then act on that vision. Think of it as the ability to see something in your mind's eye and then act on it. This type of intelligence is especially common among artists, filmmakers, scientists, and even architects. This is because all of these professions require you to be able to envision what something is going to look like or how it's going to function before it actually exists. Leonardo da Vinci and Steven Spielberg are great examples of people with high visual and spatial intelligence. Some exercises to improve your visual and spatial intelligence include making maps or diagrams, playing video games, particularly first-person shooters, and using visualization techniques such as predicting what a piece of paper would look like when it's folded. As a side note, there was actually a great TED Talk done about how FPS games can actually affect your visual and spatial intelligence. I'll leave a link to it in the description below if you want to check it out. It's a little long and touches on other effects of video games on the brain which are somewhat related to this, but not exactly what I'm talking about here, so you may want to skip to the 14-minute mark of the video. That's where they start talking about the visualization tests. The fourth type of intelligence is musical intelligence. Musical intelligence is exactly what it sounds like. It's the ability to compose songs, sing, and play instruments. It's usually found in composers and performers like Mozart, Elvis, and Elton John. Some exercises to improve your musical intelligence include regularly reading and writing poetry, as it forces you to focus on things like rhyme and tone, or you can just sing in the shower like I do. Either way. The fifth type of intelligence is bodily or kinesthetic intelligence. Bodily and kinesthetic intelligence refers to the ability to use one's own body skillfully or as a medium of expression to solve a problem. We see this type of intelligence every day, whether it's a sports star dunking a basketball or a child counting on their fingers to solve a difficult math problem. Exercises that will improve your bodily and kinesthetic intelligence include basically anything that incorporates movement into the activity. This is especially important when learning new things, as many studies have shown that incorporating multiple senses into learning activities actually helps the activity sink in deeper and stay with you longer. The sixth type of intelligence is interpersonal or social intelligence. This intelligence looks at the sensitivity one has towards others, along with their ability to work well with and understand others. Larry King, Oprah Winfrey, and yes, even the new US President Donald Trump are examples of people with high social intelligence. Now, social intelligence has always been important, but it's perhaps more important in today's global world than it has ever been before, and it can be improved through activities like sharing or watching videos on how to improve yourself like the ones you are now. The seventh type of intelligence is intrapersonal intelligence. This differs from interpersonal intelligence by focusing on the ability to understand, work, and communicate with yourself as opposed to other people. People with high levels of intrapersonal intelligence are generally very intuitive, self-motivated, and may go against the grain. Philosophers, gurus, and writers generally have very high intrapersonal intelligence. Plato and Socrates are both great examples of people with high intrapersonal intelligence. Luckily, there are many ways to improve your intrapersonal intelligence, but some of the more popular ones are to keep a journal, or start practicing meditation, or even reading books that address the issues you're trying to solve. The eighth type of intelligence is naturalistic intelligence. Naturalistic intelligence looks at our ability to distinguish among living things such as different types of plants or animals, as well as our ability to understand weather, geology, and other things in nature. As you can imagine, this type of intelligence is particularly useful in farming, biology, anthropology, and animal training careers. Charles Darwin is a fantastic example of someone with very high naturalistic intelligence. Interacting with nature is probably the best way to improve your naturalistic intelligence, and this can be done in a variety of ways, including planting a garden, visiting the zoo, going hiking, or taking care of pets. So those are the 8 types of intelligence, as originally proposed by Dr. Howard Gardner. I would like to note that some people have added a 9th type of intelligence to the list called existential intelligence, which focuses on our capacity to tackle deep questions such as the whys and hows of life and death, or the meaning of life itself.
So here are some of the strategies that we can adapt in our learning system to make assessment more productive and fun. Say, for example, linguistic asks the students to write a journal regularly or give oral examination and essay test. So you can emphasize more on creative writing, where the students get an opportunity to write poems, essays, and stories. So logical, mathematical intelligence to find that, assign science lab and experiments, having learner complete logic problems and games. So when you're testing a learner for about kinesthetic intelligence, challenging students to write and perform plays and build their own models with hands-on techniques to show what they have learned is also comes under the kinesthetic intelligence. When we talk about involving students or inviting them to create a collage or mural or a poster, this involves the visual and spatial intelligence, where we are encouraging the students to illustrate their ideas using maps, charts, and graphs, etc. And students also can use the school equipments to make video or a slideshow. This also involves the spatial intelligence part of it. So otherwise, like on the other hand, involving them for a classroom debate or work collaboratively to work on a brainstorming session, to prepare a project, to prepare action plan, or to have a design technology schedule, it helps a great deal for interpersonal intelligence. So when you ask the students to identify their own academic strengths and weaknesses, setting their own personal goals, learning goals, giving them progress reports, it helps a great deal for interpersonal intelligences. So when you challenge the students to identify and explain patterns in the music or poetry, like say for example, ABB, there are certain patterns which are there to explain the poetry. So when you ask the students, when you engage them for a student activity of finding out the patterns for them, then it is really it can help a great deal. I'll come back to your questions. If your questions are popping up, it's interrupting the session. I'm sorry to say that. We'll come back to the questions later. So involving them for that, or otherwise deliverance of your content, the prose content, into a poem format. This also helps a great deal for learning about for identifying the musical intelligence of the child. At the end of the day, whatever they learn in the classroom situation, is it relating their project or the learned or the knowledge which they have acquired to the daily life? There comes the natural part of it. In the sense where, for example, if you want me to really give us a feedback, many of you in the primary level, like you would have handled the birds lesson. So instead of just drawing a bird, as a biology teacher, as you enter the classroom, instead of just drawing up a bird on the board or showing a picture of bird on the PPT and asking them what are the parts of the bird identified, instead of that, engaging them in an activity, in a starter activity as such as a bird watcher, taking them to a field trip across the school tour, taking them for a school tour, and asking them to identify a bird, being a bird watcher, identify its actions and what are things that you can do, and coming back to the classroom again, going back and reflecting on the school tour and relating it to ornithology, study of ornithology, or the famous ornithologist. The study of birds is called as ornithology. Then the famous ornithology from India, we know that it is Dr. Salim Ali. So giving them reference about, asking them to find more details about Salim Ali, this will create an impact in the learning objective, in the learning preferences of the child. Thereby we are engaging them, asking them to explore, asking them to experience the learning, such that they will be able to equip themselves. Any new skill that they need to adopt, they will equip themselves and then they will evolve. So this is how the process of evolution that takes place. Why do we do this? Why do we need to do this? To make its learning most joyful and excitement experience for each and every learner. Let me go on to the next slide. So as we have learned about different intelligences and how do we identify these learners? That's what is the task when it comes to the classroom situation. So kinesthetic learners exhibit the following categories. How to identify that this child has kinesthetic learning intelligence? So I should modify my lesson or the task for this particular child with this category. In the sense, remember, by manipulating things and using tools, there will be more kind of they will use their own body for learning things. Say, for example, concept demonstrations, ability to master the skills by practice and imitation, and benefits by hands-on teaching techniques, tend to collect things, whatever they need to learn, weak, but they will be, what is a great black mark or the demerit of the student is they will be very weak at spellings. Using their hands to communicate, and they will be talking very fast. The mode of speech will be very fast, and they will be always benefiting from the role play situations, having always music played in the background wherever they are working or studying, or they will take very frequent breaks. This will be the more frequent student who goes to the toilet during the session, during the classroom situation, or take frequent breaks during the studying, enjoys more in the art and craft session rather than the learning and the science experiment session, become restless during long lectures, and will be able to learn the best when able to move freely. So, if we identify the learning style, what we need to do for them is reinforce the practicing techniques, demonstrate principle and the concept again and again, engage them on a hands-on activity, engage students in a position that is comfortable, even if it is not traditional desk or table or chair or setup, going for field trip or memory exercises while walking or exercising, miming or acting out the key points, looking for memory reinforcement, jot down notes while you're reading, and use the beats of rhythm to explain information and memorable information. Avoid distraction during lectures. Make models that demonstrate the primary concept of material that they are studying in order to reinforce the material. And recording class lectures and listening to them again and again will help them a great deal. So if you have identified kinesthetic learners in your classroom situation, you can really modify your lesson plans this way. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So kinesthetic learners are that way. So there are other group of learners who are auditory learners. So what are the characteristics that they will normally exhibit is that frequently talkative in class, information usually has a very little relevance until it is heard, prefer presenting oral reports rather than written reports, able to follow verbal directions better than written directions, tend to memorize very well, able to remember names very well, prefer listening to the news, does not automatically understand maps, diagrams and graphs because that is visual, and enjoys speaking to others, means always over phone, and often good at foreign languages, must repeat the information as phone numbers, reads very slowly, tends to be an articulate speaker, and unable to be quiet for a longer time. So when it is so, how to address this challenge is that read information aloud while studying, ask questions and encourage them to ask questions, watch videos and maybe the podcast and everything. The lesson can be delivered as podcast for them. Use word association techniques to remember the facts. Organize class discussions such that the voice is being heard again and again. They would like to hear their own voice and hear other voices too. Record directions and notes. Avoid auditory distractions. Make study groups such that they are able to study and contribute well. Make up songs and rhymes to go along with the pertinent material. Using rhyming schemes to call dates, names, facts, etc. will help them. And writing steps in sentence form rather than reading them aloud will help them a great deal. So moving on to the next set of learners, visual learners. They normally exhibit these characteristics. Feeling frustrated when they are unable to take notes. And can't remember precisely what information is located on what page, must have a very quiet place to study and concentrate, have difficulty in following lectures that are long, tend to be detail-oriented, typically tidy and very organized, often ask for verbal directions to be repeated, concentrate better with a clear line of sight and visual aids. Means whatever thing which is visual to them, it really helps them a great deal. So when you identify visual learners, how you can modify is that give written directions, utilize diagrams and flowcharts, use color codes, encourage note taking and writing key points, encouraging copying what is not there in the board, maybe in front of the classroom, show videos, highlighters, use highlighters to mark the important points in notes, use illustrations to remember important materials, to use visual metaphors to associate with the relevant content, write down explanations for the points that are very difficult. Thank you, Ms. Misha. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the help. So, can we go on to that is very important, please, the previous one. So, when any of these assessment strategies evaluate one kind of intelligence, there are sometimes we need to have mixture or a combination of all these intelligences put together to make your lesson plan more successful. So in that case, we can use all these intelligences in one. We can use strategies like this and with a combination of projects, performance, portfolios to assess the student progresses and address each one of the learner's strengths and weaknesses, thus fulfilling the dream of exclusive inclusion in our learning process. So in that case, yes, Mr. Rishabh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the great help that you're doing. So when it comes to the learning pyramid in general, it's a study from National Training Laboratories, which has mentioned very clearly that only 10% of the learning becomes successful when it is a reading. 20% of it is successful when audio-visual aids are used. 30% of is successful when a demonstration is shown. 50% is successful when there is when following with all these things, there is a discussion which is going on. 75% of the session is successful when they practice it, because I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. Only when I do, I remember. So practice PPP helps a great deal in the learning process. 90% when they teach others, they learn more. So can we go on to the next one, please? So with the average retention rates with the passive teaching methods, normally we stop here because of no time and we compromise on these things. Practice pack, we'll come back to it again. So we have raised so many questions in the previous session. Do we have solutions for this? Yes, we are here to provide you the solutions. Can we go on there, please? So you can stop sharing your screen now. So this is what on a platter, learn by chapter here is set to go, and they are here to provide solutions. That's why we are suggesting learn by chapter. Okay, so this is the page, the welcome page, where you can see home, about us, blogs, benefits, courses, and our affiliate programs are there, and also you can have other courses also. So on the whole, learn by chapter. What is the main idea of learn by chapter is that learn smarter, teach better, and perform exceptionally. So it's the world's most powerful CBSE resource platform, which is catering to classes 6 to 8, definitely, empowering students and the teachers and educators worldwide. So what are we trying to do is that it's a global platform, as I mentioned. It's offering chapter-wise NEP-aligned resources for grades 6 to 12 across all CBSE streams and subjects. And we are built in collaboration proudly by the School of Educators, by a group called School of Educators, which is powered by the legacy of Nagin Group of Schools, where the content is developed by Artem Resources, a trusted academic public house. So this is a platform where your teaching, learning solutions in one place. Be it a teacher, be it a student, be it a parent, or be it an educator, all your questions will be answered here. And that's why we are here. And our main objective is that as School of Educators, our mission is to advance the educational global practices or education practices globally by facilitating the exchange of high quality resources and which is supplemented with the best practices among all educators. How do we do that? And it's not only on this platform, we also host webinars, workshops that are designed to address the challenges in the quality learning, providing free teaching aids, digital resources, professional development material, which are most required for achieving this. So our aim is to create a collaborative digital platform that empowers the educators to adopt innovative, inclusive, and sustainable teaching methodology. And so it's that. And as you have seen, we are talking about different. Can we go on to the courses, Mr. Rishabh? You can highlight on the courses, please.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah.
So
So
these
if
are
you
all the courses.
Yeah, these are the different courses that we offer. Courses from class 6 for all the subjects as such. And if you can see class 6, class 7, class 8, class 9, class 10, 11, 12, and student all courses and teacher all courses, and also for even principals. Somebody was saying something?
Let's move ahead with the course, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So when you can we take that if you want me to explain more, if you see, let's go to class 9 science, subject code for 086. We'll come back to you, sir, definitely. Yes. So these are the things that we provide for grade 9 science. It's an online course that you can see. It is aligned with NEP 2020 aligned pedagogies, strengthening student performances, and the course is the ideal partner. And what is included in the course that you can see for you is the well-structured notes for every chapter, topic and subtopic, with interactive PowerPoint presentations, concept-wise video lessons, Bloom's taxonomy-based lesson plans, multiple intelligence-based lesson plans, topic-wise STEM DIY activities, cross-curricular subjects, NCERT textbook solutions, which is fully solved, precise and exam-ready, exemplar problems and solutions for extensive practice and advanced application, where the child can, he himself can just go and practice the sessions independently, with real-life scientific case studies to link to the concepts that have been learned or the textbook concepts with practical and everyday applications, and a combination of Bloom's and multiple intelligence activity grid for holistic skill building across cognitive domains. Apart from this, topic-wise learning outcomes to track student mastery and learning processes with detailed mind mappings for quick, effective chapter-wise revision. And also, last but not the least, not to miss in the mention, definitely, category-wise quizzes to assess the strength and weaknesses of understanding topic by topic, not chapter by chapter, topic by topic. In a chapter, there are subtopics. For each and every topic, there is a quiz that will assess the student ability of exactly student ability in this, what's the knowledge that is known to the child and which level are you in. If at all you are not able to perform in this grade 9 level, what is your level of capacity? If your level of capacity is somewhere in grade 8 for the same concept, we go back to the grade 8 and help you to cover that, bridge that gap which is between grade 8 and grade 9, such that you are brought to grade 9 level and you are able to move further in a more easier way and a happy way. So the final goal is full syllabus mastery, strategically targeted for grade 9 science examinations. So if you want me to go any particular chapter, can we go to chapter 2? Is matter around us pure? Just for example, please. So if you see this chapter is matter around us pure, is you can see what all things which are here, topic wise educational podcast which is available, readily available for you to use in the classroom or the student to learn on his own. Comprehensive chapter wise notes are being given very clearly, and so that you will be able to deliver it in your classroom or disseminate it to your students. Interactive PowerPoint sessions are there, storyboard sessions are there, which helps them to learn in a more independent way. And from the teacher's point of view, categorically, you can, with the help of these PowerPoints, you can make it as a student-centered learning with the concept explanation videos for visual learning. Chapter plans for KHDA and PISA success, means the local authority success. Topic-wise Bloom's taxonomy, which is based on assessment rubrics, etc. And so the assessment goes alongside, not that after you end that particular topic, you will have an assessment, not like that. Once you finish this topic, on the same day, you can assess your level of learning, your level of success criteria, what you have achieved, what you have not achieved.
So for deliverance, for multiple intelligence based lesson plans with diverse learners, as we have seen, visual learners, auditory learners, spatial learners, linguistic learners, natural learners. For each diverse learners, the lesson plans are there. Can we go to one of them if you can, please? So multiple intelligence-based lesson plans relating it to today's topic is that, say what is a mixture, see the criteria, see the group that we are addressing. It's a duration for 40 minutes. It's a proper lesson plan, as you can see. The chapter is matter around as pure. Topic is what is mixture, which is aligned to NCERT Class 9 Science NEP 2020 Multiple Intelligences. Learning objective, what the student knows is that by the end of the lesson, the student will be able to, it is given very clearly. NCERT learning outcomes are being addressed during this session. Key vocabularies, materials required for learning, lesson structure for 40 minutes. It's a starter activity, which is for engage, recall, etc. The introduction activity, direction activity with explanation and demonstration for the teacher to deliver the concept in the classroom with 8 minutes. Activity for 20 minutes with hands-on interactive activities in a heterogeneous mixture. A group activity where the student will be able to reflect and identifying the particle, etc. As you can see, the note observations for each and every stage we have mentioned about kinesthetic, interpersonal, logical, naturalistic activity. That's very clearly related to MI, that is multiple intelligences. Closure, a summary of the reflection of the whole lesson, a quick recap with think, pass, share method. For example, like what you have learned and how you have learned, is it homogeneous or heterogeneous, where it confines the whole lesson, or it summarizes the whole lesson, or it comes to the final fulfillment with the interpersonal intelligence as well. With the assessment, where also 2 minutes assessment is taken, and where you have the rubrics of exactly what the kind of activity which has been engaged into: linguistic activity, logical, mathematical activity, visual spatial activity, bodily kinesthetic activity, interpersonal activity, naturalistic. As a teacher, you can have your chart very clearly says that how many of them were involved in these activities in the student, how many of them had a Venn diagram or a mixture of these, combination of all these activities. You will be able to align it with NEP alignment of experiential learning, concept understanding, collaboration, foundation literacy, contextualized learning, etc., with the emphasis on PPP, that is extension as homework and assignments, is already given. So this is just one lesson plan which I'm taking it as an example for you to get an idea of exactly what is it. Can we go on to art and art integrated learning project for the same chapter, please? Same topic. So not only that, it is aligned with STEM DIY activities as well. Hope you are able to see the screen, Mr. Rishabh.
Ma'am, is my screen not visible?
Yeah, STEM aligned DIY activities topic wise. So what is the thing? Mixing salt and so all these experiments are already there. Activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, everything which is aligned as an example, and then you can have your marks complete. So this is one. Then apart from that, if it is STEM, then cross-curricular activities means different DIY activities. Can we go on to cross-curricular activities?
Yes, ma'am.
So in this also, all these activities are very clearly mentioned, as you can see. So as we go ahead, there are different other things that which comes into this, which is followed with the daily practice papers, as you can see. Traditional emotional games, Bloom's taxonomy, art-related learning projects, toys from trash hands, etc., mind maps, quick revision, chapter-wise revision, and clearly defined learning outcomes, diagnostic assessments, and also with the flash learn. So now coming back to our courses. Once again, this is for you to get an idea of exactly how it has been done. Now coming back to our courses, we can go to the courses page. We have about 124 courses. Can we have a run through of the courses, please? Page, please. This is for grade 9 that you're seeing. It's English, courses for grade 9 English for students, teachers, grade 9 Hindi, grade 9 Hindi teachers, grade 9 mathematics, grade 9 science, grade 9 social studies again for students, social studies for teachers, and also for English aligned with for students, and also all these things are available through and through in all our courses, as we have gone through it before. 124 courses. Last but not the least, as teachers and schools and learning experts, you can always buy them here, buy all our courses, and you can, as schools, you can collaborate with us so that we will be able to do the needful for you. As teachers, you can always enroll yourself as a teacher with Learning by Chapter and start using our material. As students, we welcome our students to benefit by this wonderful platform. So as a student, you can always enroll with us, and you will be able to access all our resources for your benefit. Not only students, but also parents, because the teacher, student, and the third, the main corner of the vertex is the parent. So definitely for parents also, they can enroll with us and they can guide the students. Not only that, even the school principals and educators can enroll with us. And this will really make the whole education process reimagining and rewiring. That's what we call it as. And our main aptitude, or the main idea, the main rationale behind this is to make education most joyful and exciting experience for each and every learner. Now, how do we do that? We have affiliate program. So the thing is that who is the main person behind is Dr. Vishal. Many of you might be knowing him as a person, a great educationist who has worked on this whole platform. The whole team of Learn by Chapter has worked on it with Mr. Rishabh Agarwal and Mr. Anubhav Agarwal and so many people, I know only a few of them, so I'm taking their names. They have worked on it to create such a wonderful platform. I have joined them as an educator to take it across to the benefit of exactly where it has to reach, to the people to whom it has to reach. So that's why this idea of exactly the multiple intelligences, how to integrate it in a classroom curriculum, and we are there to support you very easily, to take you forward hand in hand, such that you travel with us and we all will reach together to the ultimate, to the confinement. Thank you so much. And now the question session, definitely. We are open for all your questions, and yes, please. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mahalakshmi. Thank you so much. So, yes, Mr. Vivek, I've seen your hand. Please unmute yourself and go ahead with your question. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you. Is there any question? Yes, definitely certificate is provided. That's what was instruction given in the beginning, that anybody who has stayed beyond 30 minutes, you will definitely get by this time it should have reached your email. I'm sure about it. You would have got your certificate.
The certificate will be sent over once the meeting is over.
Yeah.
Let's give Mr. Vivek a chance to take up his question.
Mr. Vivek, we saw your hand, and we would like to have the feedback. Say, for example, anybody would like to give the feedback, please go ahead. Yes, Mr. Vivek, please go ahead. You are not quite audible. We request you to be more loud.
Well, now, am I audible
Yes,
now?
now you are. Yes, thank you, Mr. Vivek. Please go ahead with your question.
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude towards you for such a beautiful session, a very informative one regarding multiple intelligences. My question is, ma'am, is it possible for you to show what material do we have regarding learn by chapter as far as English language and literature part is concerned? I'm asking about a grade 10.
Grade 10. Yes, definitely. Mr. Rishabh, I think you need to share your screen again.
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing that.
I mean here, what is the insight that we have so that we can...
Okay, hope the screen is visible now for you. I'll try sharing my screen, Mr. Rishabh.
Ma'am, I'm on it. I'm just opening.
Okay. Mr. Vivek, by the time you can introduce yourself, are you a parent or a student or a teacher or a principal?
I hope everyone is able to see my.
Yes. The screen is visible. Thank you, Mr. Rishabh. As you have seen, Class 10 teachers course is designed to equip the educators with all the resources necessary for a creative, dynamic, interactive, effective lessons. So what you can see is topic-wise educational podcast. So it keeps the student engaged with the in-depth podcast on key topics, offering an accessible and flexible way to reinforce learning. Then, compromise. Yes, you need to, there are too many questions which comprehensive chapter-wise teaching notes, detailed teaching notes to each chapter to support structured, clear and effective lesson planning. Interactive PowerPoint sessions, PowerPoint presentations, professionally designed PowerPoint slides to visually enhance lessons and simplify complex concepts. Chapter-wise plans for KHTA and PISA. Curriculum assigned chapter plans designed to meet the information standards, international standards such as KHTA and PISA, helping the students excel in the global assessments. And we have seen already all these things, the Bloom's taxonomy and assessment-based rubrics. This also we have seen, multiple intelligences that we have seen so far, how it is aligned, STEM-aligned activities that we have seen. This is grade 10. Mr. Vivek, I'm still with you. This is grade 10 that we are addressing. So all these are available for all the subjects. You can just go through the website. You will get a very clear idea. Courses are not long. You can have an idea of all the courses that are being offered. Thank you so much.
Okay.
There was one question thank you so much, Mr. Vivek. How can we just train grade 10 student with Bloom's taxonomy, multiple intelligences? It is like the one who is going to sit for board examination. Exactly. He is already towards the goal. He is already reaching the postman. So he is just one step forward. He is already there. So now we can't think about taking him to exactly the starting point. So probably we need to address it when he goes to grade 11. But still, he will be able to access the resources which are there, definitely. And say, for example, if you're talking about grade 10, talking about chemistry or talking about the salts and other things. In that also, multiple intelligence has been incorporated in using the resources and the lesson plans so that the child will choose the resource that is best suited for him to have an experiential learning, and he will be able to achieve it much better rather than studying the whole concept book by book, page by page. It will really help him a great deal. You can give a try, definitely. Hope I've answered your question. Any other question, please?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening, Ms. Sonali.
To ask a question regarding
Yes.
active learning, you have just told us before that we have to moderate our lesson plan according to all these multiple intelligences.
Yes.
So I want to ask the question: how can the teacher effectively design active learning activities?
Can you be a little
that in
louder?
which all-
Sorry to interrupt. Not heard.
Yes.
Not heard, dear.
Okay, ma'am. I want to ask the question that how can teachers effectively design active learning activities that engage all that 8 multiple intelligences in a single lesson plan?
Ms. Sonali, I've showed you the lesson plan, how it has been integrated with we have shown you a lesson plan. Likewise, for each and every class, every chapter, every topic, we have lesson plans ready-made.
Ma'am, I would
We have
like
done
to.
it already.
I would like to add to this,
Yes.
Ms. Kali. So regarding what you were saying so what we have done, we have created an orientation for teachers as well. So basically how can you create the resources yourself? So how to create STEM aligned DIY activities, how to create multiple intelligence based lesson plans for diverse learners. So I'm sure that their question has been answered now. Like how can you were asking that how can you yourself make those lesson plans integrating the multiple intelligence. So we have given the orientation program as well for the teachers to basically understand and learn how can they themselves create lesson plans that are enriched with multiple intelligence or art integrated projects or STEM aligned projects. So basically, for everyone, I would like to add the class, like you see, class 10 science chapter 1. Chapter 1 for every course is free for everyone to go and have a look about for the content and the courses and how rich our content is. And secondly, once you buy the course, you get the access to the orientation for teachers as well, so that you can create all these resources by yourself itself. I hope your question was answered, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem, ma'am.
You're welcome. So, any other? Yes. Can we take few feedbacks exactly from?
Excuse me.
Yes, Dr. Nitya, please go ahead.
I'm Nitya Mahendran. Actually, this webinar by Dr. Srividhya, Sukumar and a team on this multiple intelligence it's beautifully highlighted how to nurture this child's ability to learn, explore, and grow in diverse ways. And it was a really, truly an inspiring and enlightening session. I really mean this. The presentation, that PPT slide and the screenshots collectively, what you just shown, conveyed the depth of the thought and everything, the clarity behind all of your ideas was well noted actually. As viewers, we really appreciate this, the richness in the session. And my question is, actually, I want to know, may I kindly know when your next session is going to be scheduled? That's one question.
Every Sunday, ma'am. Means probably every weekend we are trying to have it. Definitely you'll be notified by the group. Anyway, we have your email IDs. We will definitely get you notified. It will be either Saturday or Sunday, definitely.
Saturday is fine. So it is going to be the common, the further sessions what you're going to have is going to be generally for all the subject teachers or only for this special session for English, mathematics, science, because it is an ocean what you're doing and you decided to implement also. So I just want to know whether it's we are going to do the subject-wise teachers or
so
overall.
I'll take this question. So basically what we do is explaining every subject in a different webinar becomes very a tedious task, and we have all subject teachers and all stream teachers joining us on a webinar. So we cannot take up a particular subject and showcase that. So what we do is basically all the subjects have the same kind of resources, but for their subject. So what we do is we take up one particular subject and explain about that. So,
okay.
But if we also offer like demos and for particular schools as well, like if you're a principal or a school owner and you want to get a demo for your school and you want to integrate the whole program in your school, so you can just drop us a mail or contact us through the information provided so that we can schedule a demo particularly for your school as well.
Fine. You'll be sending a representative to explain what is exactly you're
Yes,
going to do.
if it's possible for a physical demo, then we'll be happy to do a physical demo. Otherwise, we'll have a Zoom session itself.
Okay, understand.
And
Because
recently,
why I feel in that way means if it is a science teacher, the streamline of explanations regarding observations and laboratory and then whatever the periodic
Correct.
table, it depends. Mathematics means formula, a lot of things it goes in that way. And also I just want to know what kind of the teachers, subject teachers, I can make them to assemble for this sessions in the next, the furthermore what you're going to do. That's
correct, ma'am. I've got your point. I'll surely note it down and we can surely work upon that as well.
Okay.
Secondly, there was a Srividhya conference, the CBSE Srividhya conference that happened last week in Dubai. So basically, it was the first international conference and it was the 31st Srividhya conference. So there were a lot of points and things and that needed focus have been discussed in the conference. So we have started our webinars picking up one each topic that has been discussed in Srividhya and how can a school or a teacher can imply the needs of CBSE or the NEP 2020. So every week there will be a webinar happening upon one topic, and as clearly shown, the learnbychapter.com is providing pretty much everything that is needed by the CBSE or the NEP 2020 policy. So we're trying to get all schools together, working together, focusing together on the needs and making the students score and marks reach a point that they can't even think of.
very good, very good. Best of luck for all your endeavors to bring this as a top-notch performance. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Nitya, and thank you, Rishabh, and all those from UAE and UK, those who have logged in. It also addresses the PISA requirements with exactly for evaluating global systems and also promote application-based questions and setting learning targets with critical thinking. And for UA's Vision of Education 33, this system really addresses that as well for the world-class system, which is focused on innovation and employability, not to miss in the mention, like how to empower the teachers with smart lesson plans and digital resources. So this categorically addresses those two as well. Yes, Dr. Elena, would you like to say something? Thank you so much.
Yes,
By the way, Dr. Elena is working.
hello everyone.
Thank you.
I'm a genetics and plant breeding professor, full professor and academician. I very interesting multiple intelligence development by Howard Gardner in 1883 rejected the idea of single general intelligence and agree that people possess a range of different ability. The significance of this theory lies primarily in education and personal development is often a broader view human potential in learning. Significance theory, multiple intelligence, broader view ability, skills, adaptation, instruction in education and education process, holistic development, type intelligence in different cognitive possibility. Is important to note that each person process this intelligence to varying degree, and it's not on type of person. The goal of theory is not to label people, but to understanding the diversity of human ability. I have intelligence, visual, interpersonal, personal, musician intelligence, and I application in science, multiple intelligence, and my colleague in science and university professor, young people, PhD student is very, very interesting section for all in the world school, university professors and students. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Excellence. Thank you very much for invitation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. By the way, Dr. Lina is representing from Serbia, and she would like to take it for her schools in Serbia. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, anybody else would like to know more about? We have come to the end of the session. So, following this session, this week we have talked about multiple intelligence. So, when you identify the child, when you administer this to the child, what is in this process? What happens is that the child has learned something in one way and is going to learn it in a different way now. Means what it has learned so far, that's the past, and what we are taking the child further is the future. We need to bridge this gap, which is a challenging situation because it is unlearn, relearn. So for this, to enable this process in a more successful way, we are going to talk about metacognition. How to inculcate metacognition abilities in a learner such that they will be able to address it, and how our Learn By chapter is helping to achieve that exactly with diagnostic assessment and taking into the process of learning to the next level, bridging up from the past, that is what I know, KWL, what I know, what am I going to learn here, and what I have learned. So KWL chart is going to be mapped with metacognition such that we will be able to take it further. So towards the end of Mr. Rishabh, have you got anything to add on there, or should we conclude?
We can conclude, ma'am. I think so. Everyone's questions have been answered.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any question, we're open to answer.
You can always write to us. It's not necessary that you need to ask the question. All your questions which are there in the chat box, we'll try to answer them. And also you can always write to us to our email such that we'll be answering your questions. So as we come towards the end of the session, I've got only one thing to share. Coming together is always a beginning. Today is only a beginning. Staying together is a process. We'll stay in the process. Working together is success. So please enroll with us. Let's start working together, and you also will benefit. We also will benefit with that particular dream of making education a most joyful, exciting learning experience for each and every learner, such that they enjoy the learning and they take forward the learning, relating it to the life, relating it to the community. This is what the whole purpose is all about. So let's all put our heart, mind and soul together to take it forward with Learn by Chapter. Thank you so much. I really thank you for all your precious presence amidst us today. And before we sign off, Mr. Rishabh, would you like to add on there?
No, ma'am, nothing. Just very heartful thanks to everyone who attended our session, and a very thank you to Ms. Dr. Srividhya Sukumar as well for her insightful knowledge about the multiple intelligence and why it is needed in the education line today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate each one of your presence. Each one of you is so dear to us, and we would like to work with you. Please stay connected. Thank you so much. Thank you.